Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another Monday night here at Proficiency Bonus. Thank you for joining us here at We Met in a Tavern. We're back. I have got my green screen set back up, so we are back actually in the tavern for the first time in a while tonight. So, unfortunately, I still haven't got off my ass and actually got myself some drinks to serve, but hey, all things in time. Before we jump over to our players and our new overlay for tonight's episode, a couple of quick shout outs. Want to give thanks to Streamlabs, Many Sided Dice, Team MZ, Twitch, and our favorite northern neighbors, Little Dragon Corp. If you haven't checked them out yet, in the chat. Hold on, I should probably turn on my players so y'all can hear that goes. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was interrupting you, sorry.
So
we do have a couple favorite northern neighbors, so.
This is true. But we're talking about Little Dragon Corp right now.
Okay.
So if you haven't done yet in chat, !Little Dragon, give you a link to their website. Don't forget to use the discount code PROBONUS to get 10% off on your order. And they will ship anywhere in the world. So definitely check them out. They got some great stuff. I've been showing these off recently. And tonight we actually use real dice. So whatever happens to my party, you can blame on this little D20, which I got directly from them. So with that, we will jump on over to our party. See if this works properly. Okay, so welcome, party. It's got something up, and of course, because it wouldn't be proficiency bonus if we didn't have some sort of technical issue, I left Artemis's tag. Oh no, do not. No. Hold on, sorry, bear with me a second, folks. I left Artemis's name tag on me instead of putting it over Artemis. Let me just adjust that right quick, because, you know. Transition. There we go. Sorry about that, Art.
Oh man, it looks awesome with the water. Oh my god.
So, with what happened last time, our party has been making their way north from the city of Kyre Westfall. They were given a couple of rough ideas on where to find some of these pieces for this arcane doorway. They managed to collect 2 pieces so far. One they got from the inside of a Zaraton. Ran into an interesting character, a wereshark by the name of Hara, who eventually helped them get out, and while supposedly going with them to their ship, managed to sort of slip away during the escape. They picked up the second piece in the city of Kyre Westfall. They made some introductions with the viceroy of the area, the Lady Erlisa. Found out that she may or may not have been a hideous undead blight upon the city. Proceeded to attempt to sort of negotiate. Battle sort of broke out and she just vanished on them. But they were able to loot the lady's estate, obtaining their desired items, as well as a bunch of other stuff. Now they're heading their way north to a small island of Amarune. This is on the northeast shores of Alaron, which is still within that same area of the Moonshine Isles and the Sea of Swords. So with that, our party has recently dealt with some sort of magic-using, armored, oversized squid creature. They've made their way back to the boat and are just now sort of settling down, getting a little bit of rest after the battle, as the captain has warned them that they would be arriving to the shores of Amarune by tomorrow morning. And with that, party, so the story is told and it is yours. Is there anything you would be looking to do this evening before turning in for the night?
Just rest a lot. That fight took it out of me.
I would still be on the deck attempting to get better at my flute playing.
Okay.
as the last time we saw Furia and her flute, she wasn't doing so hot.
Go ahead and make a performance check for me.
Alright.
And someone, while Fear is rolling that, anything that you would be doing?
No, I'm just ready to rest for the night.
Okay.
13.
Okay. So it is Actually, a vast improvement from your previous experience. Again, you still have that occasional, do 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 do, just that one sort of off note that's but it's not so far out of key that people are complaining like they were before or trying to avoid you. It's just every once in a while you can see him sort of swaying around a little bit, and then all of a sudden and overall a vast improvement. Very nice.
Practice makes perfect, I guess.
So eventually you guys turn in for the evening, complete your long rest after the harrowing day's experiences. And you awake early the next morning to hearing a voice call out, "Land ho! Land ho! Up ahead!" And the day is yours.
I guess this is our stop.
Yes, seems like we found it.
Right, let's go.
Well, nobody's looking for us in this port yet, so
Well, not yet.
let's
There's
try to
still-
keep it that way
Still
this
time.
time.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, I'll go on deck.
You too.
So,
Yeah,
as the
I'm fine.
oh, and actually I should say, where people have obviously noticed your watch right now. As you can see, Art is not with us tonight, so Art will be on roleplay, basically Art Light this evening. So we wish you all pair. Hope you're feeling better soon, and we look forward to catching up with you when you are. So Art will follow the group you up onto deck. So the first thing the four of you notice as you're starting to pull in, as you're pulled towards this little sort of what can best be described as a port. Lydia, you've stopped at some dives. You've stopped at some pretty shady places in your time. This port is really sort of almost like a bad joke.
Oh.
There's only 2 or 3 small docks jutting out into the water. They don't look to be in great repair. You do see a couple of very, very meager, best you can say is oversized canoes.
And
As
out
you guys
of
are
the city, right?
no, Amarune is a small island.
Oh, the island. Okay, there isn't even a city on the island. Okay,
Yeah,
we're in
well-
the city on the island.
Yeah, there is a rather small settlement here that is on the southwestern shore that has, I won't really say recently been settled. They've probably been here for about a year and a half to 2 years. So in terms of city life, that's very recent. As you're pulling up, the captain sort of beckons the four of you over and says, "I'll be here. Do you think it'll take you more than a couple of days in here?"
Hopefully not, Captain.
Do we have any idea where to start, Captain? Any?
This is the only thing on the island. It's this one small village town port. They do mostly fishing and agriculture. The entire island, I think, is 3 or 4 miles. It's not exactly large. Actually, if you look in, as you guys are sort of pulling up to the dock and the crew's starting to throw ropes out and sort of pull up and tie the ship off. Again, as much as one can to this sort of ramshackle dock, it's all of you are pretty sure your own anchor is doing more to keep you here than the dock is.
Okay.
As the captain sort of points out, you can see probably about 500 or 600 yards from the shore, you can see small huts, little bits of smoke coming up. It's still fairly early morning, probably like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So these are probably remnants of cooking fires and things of that nature. Yeah, see what they can tell you. It's I'm assuming you'll be spending more time searching than you will speaking to them, as last I heard there were only about 40 or 50 people.
That's enough to get something out of someone. Hopefully.
And the crew sets down the gangplanks. You can get down onto the dock. Day is yours.
Alright. Shall we go to the local inn first, / tavern, if they have one?
If
I would just walk around, see what this place has in general. I mean, I'm sure they have some sort of inn, but I don't even know where we're going to start for our other object we're looking for.
I know.
Maybe
Can't
we'll
just
have
be sending that information out to everyone.
True, but maybe we can figure out,
Oh, let
if
me prepare
anybody's
my
seen any-
spells.
I know the other people are looking for this object, so maybe some people have seen something odd going on that they're not prepared to deal with, and maybe we can do it for them. Get paid for it.
Let's see. What can I do?
yes, we can ask around.
Locate. Ooh. Okay, I could take locate object. But we don't know what we're locating. Never mind. What would be good in this situation?
Lydia,
I
don't you prepare your spells during
Yes,
the night
I-
before?
I forgot to.
well, you
You
know more
really
about
need to
that
get on
stuff
that. It's just bad
than I
form.
do. So.
I know. I really should stop holding up the party while I think about this.
Think while you walk.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, Lydia, what is your passive perception normally?
Oh, let's see. 17.
Okay, so we'll say for the next 5 or 10 minutes while you're walking in, sort of concentrating on your spells, your passive for the time being will do a -5 for the next 10 minutes or so, just because you're sitting there trying to figure out your spells as you're walking.
Ooh, almost just made a snow moon.
It's alright, I have a 16.
That's good. At least
So-
one of us has a spool and it's.
So as you're starting to head down, and actually, Vera, you're the first one to notice it as you start getting a little closer. First thing you notice is just on the docks there are a couple of small children sitting there, looks to be like an oversized branch with a string down it. Just looks like they're trying to fish. A couple of small buckets sitting next to them, nothing in them. See a couple of look to be much older men. And one of them is very obviously human, just very sort of thick, bushy, almost Snow White beard, though. The other one that you notice is very noticeably elven, but at that same point has a very sort of distinguished, almost elderly look to his face. And again, as you continue moving up towards this, then again, the captain called it a city. You're seeing this place is tiny. I mean, this is at best a village, if you can even call it that. As you're getting closer, you can see probably maybe 10, 15 buildings. And as you're getting closer, you see that there is one, what looks to be guardsmen on this dirt and stone walkway. Just sort of standing there leaning up on a fence. Just like haphazardly staring down towards the port. And then all of a sudden, he notices the group of you approaching. And all of a sudden, you watch as this... and turns around and runs the other direction. Looks to be extremely excited.
Oh, excited. I thought he was panicked and confused.
Not afraid.
You're not afraid.
Almost like a big smile on his face.
Oh,
He goes
good.
off running.
Okay.
You can hear ching, 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 ching as his armor is clanging against it. He's not doing anything at this point, just taking off running.
Should we wait for him here? Would that be the polite thing?
I think we should follow where he's going. He looks very excited. Maybe he's telling somebody important about us.
Okay.
Important, right?
Well, I mean, a place like this must have somebody in charge.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't want it to look like we're chasing after him, though. I don't
Just keep
We'll
walking.
walk really slowly.
Lydia, that's not something I can do.
Transform into a turtle and then walk with us.
That's a little bit too slow, I think.
That is a bit too slow.
I'll just walk normal, like we were before we saw him run.
Yeah.
Okay. What's my suggestion? It was Stoneman.
But you're right, we should not chase after him.
So
Proper decorum.
as you start to get a little closer, you start to see there, sort of in the middle-ish of this little village, is what looks to be like an oversized gazebo. As you're approaching, coming along this stone pathway, it's coming up. You guys are on the southeast corner of the island. So as you're walking up, you're heading up towards the north a little bit, and then it starts to turn west. So as you're sort of coming up this hill, you can see, and you turn and you can see the guard, and surrounding this gazebo, there's about 6 or 7 people. And you can hear almost a very somewhat heated debate going on. And you can hear a woman, "Well, you've been claiming that for the last 3 weeks. We lost another one yesterday." You hear a male voice call out, "And what about me? All of my sheeps are gone now." Then you hear a somewhat younger but almost more powerful voice of them. "Well, yes, I understand your complaints, but I've told you already. I have reached out. I've spoken with people at the capital. They've told us they're sending people. They should be here soon." And at that you can hear, Sir, they're here! Ship just boarded. Group of people coming up the strait." And now you can hear a bunch of people sharp intakes of breath and, "Oh, he wasn't lying to us. Somebody is going to be here and fix it." And that's as you guys start to come up around the corner.
I do elbow whoever's walking beside me. And it does sound like they have something for us to do.
Yes.
Yes, we're here to fix everything.
Yes. So we heard something about sheep missing, correct?
So as you're sort of walking up, and again, now you're seeing just a mismatch. Everyone go ahead and make a perception check as you're walking up. Then I think I just bounced you guys over to a map so you can get a rough idea what you're looking at.
Perception. Come on. Ooh. 24.
Okay. So Lydia
Got a
definitely knows this.
17.
Oh,
And
okay.
an 18.
Okay. So all of you definitely notice as you're starting to walk up towards this group of individuals that as you're passing by, you're seeing a lot of children, elderly people. You see a couple of merchants, a farmer. You're not seeing anywhere in the like any sort of real militia or guard presence here. You're not seeing a whole lot of like, and I'll phrase it like mid-aged men. You're seeing a lot of old men, you're seeing a lot of little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not seeing a whole lot between like 18 and 60. Except for, well, the guard who ran away, now that you're a little closer, looks to be probably about like 30, 35. Again, looks to be human, but does have this sort of like leather helmet on. So you're not 100% clean shaven. A little bit of a pot belly to him. Standing in the middle of this gazebo, next to what looks to be sort of a somewhat cobbled together sculpture that looks to be of some sort of a humanoid figure, is a very well-dressed, looks to be some sort of elvish descent. Very slightly pointed ears, hair pulled back, tied very loosely in the back, but is only hanging down probably about an inch or so on the ponytail. Very sort of plain white shirt, but looks to be, especially for this area, somewhat expensive overcoat. Looks over. Oh yes, well, it is about time the capital responded to me. So I assume you're here about the disappearances.
Yes, and apologies for the lateness, but we're here now.
You can see he looks around at the group, the Dantogram. As you can see, it is being dealt with now. Please, would everyone go home? Let me take our new friends, and I will get them everything they need to know from my office, and then get them on their way so we can get this resolved. You can see a couple of the people have started, whispering back and forth. You hear a couple of people asking questions, pointing over at Snow Moon and Lydia, how can I have them big ones? Oh, look, the little tiny one. Wonder if that hair, I wonder how you get hair like that. It's like little, you don't think they get a lot of visitors here.
Yeah, okay.
Fury is actually quite pleased that she's not the odd one out for once. Being an elf usually in human cities.
So eventually he comes over to you, he tells the guard to come with him, and the two of them start escorting you over. And brings you down towards the south, and you walk past, there's a rather large building. Small, again, very sort of crudely hand written sign on the front. So walk by, Tamfort Inn and Tavern. But he walks right past that, brings you over what looks to be a decent-sized farmhouse. A small pendant area behind it. Looks like there's a couple of chickens in a coop in there. But again, all of you, even without really knowing animal husbandry, realize this pen is much too large to be used for just chickens. So eventually he walks you over, he walks up, opens his door, and gestures for you to enter.
I go in.
Yeah, enter.
Mm-hmm.
As the four of you walk in, the guard follows you in. Immediately he walks in behind you, closes the door, turns around. This is just wonderful. So, we've been having a run of bad luck. There are a group of, shall we say, we think they may be indigenous peoples living on the far western side of the island. They come out of caves. They have been kidnapping our... Well, unfortunately, most of our livestock is gone already. We gathered up some of our more able-bodied men and sent them out, and they have not returned. So every few days we lose a few more things, and now we are down. I think Lewin has the last 2 cattle that we have here. Been sending letters to the capital for weeks, not heard anything. I was fearing they would not be responding, but I'm quite surprised they only sent 4 individuals to deal with this, but...
Me too!
So,
honestly, the message we got did not give us any information whatsoever. We were just told to go as fast as we could to here. I mean, there's problems sailing, but we got here when we could.
So typical of them. Left hand doesn't know what the right is doing. Well, basically, if you head out the western gate, and again, you can ask Shirasha at the western gate. She can give you a bit more information.
Come to this place and settle it and colonize it without the natives' permission. I just have to know.
Nobody knew they were here. They are subterranean creatures.
Have anybody seen them? Is there a description of them?
Unfortunately, those we sent after them have not come back.
How long have these men been missing that you sent out?
2 10-day. So we sent off... When they didn't come back after a day and a half, that's when we sent our first missive to the capital. Since then, we had 5 guards. I sent 3 of the 5 of them out looking for them. They have not returned yet either.
Are they all sent out in one direction or different directions?
No, all to the direction that we found the tracks coming from. It's always the same, coming from that direction, going back that direction. Shirasha says she's fairly certain she knows roughly where the caves that these creatures call home is, but...
Well, is there...
Scarce on information and scarce on more men.
Yes, we've only been here a few short years. My mother's brother got me this position and said it was going to be easy, but...
You sound very passionate about your job. Another question. Why did you come here and then populate the indigenous people's culture? Like, why did you populate here? Like, what draws you to this land?
It is near the open ocean, easy fishing. It was open space that no one was using.
For indigenous people. Alright.
Again, some underground creatures that nobody knew existed.
They've only been bothering you the past couple of months?
Seems to be.
Has anything else changed besides that you're aware of?
Not that we're aware of. I mean, we haven't changed our lifestyle since we arrived here. I mean, as you can see, we even haven't really branched out. We don't have the people for it. The goal was eventually to colonize the entire island and just turn it into one massive city. Ports all around. Think of the money you could make.
But you obviously haven't gotten that far yet.
And not if our menfolk keep getting taken and killed.
It's odd that if there were indigenous people on the island, that they would just not come and speak with you, and they would just resort to attacking and stealing.
And again, it is our food that they are taking. I'm assuming they're trying to drive us off the island, starve us out. Again, as long as we still have our small boats, we can go out and fish, and I'm certain we can outlast them. But now that you're here, we won't need to.
All right.
Well, is there anything else you think we should know before we talk to Shirasha?
That's really all that's all we have right now. Again, she can point you towards the hills where the caves are that they come out of. Again, the tracks are not exactly difficult to follow. Once you hit that sort of hilly area, you'd be hard-pressed to miss it. It's not like they're exactly trying to keep themselves hidden now that we know they're there.
Well, I don't have much hope for your sheep and your cows, but we will do our best to try to recover all of your people.
He gives a little bow of his head. We don't have much in the way of supplies, but you're welcome to stop by the tavern if you need food or drink before you leave, or to bring with you.
Right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you very much.
Just tell them that Tom sent you, and I'll take care of the bill.
All right.
I look over at Lydia and Snowman, who are very large. Thinking, you might regret that. I don't say that, though. Yeah, and if he's dead, I'll start making my way out.
Yep. And after we leave his office, I'm gonna turn to them and say, "Did we intercept a message?"
We might have. You have a problem with that?
Know this.
I
Like-
think the first part of that was cut off.
Yeah, I couldn't actually hear you very well.
I was wondering if I knew that we intercepted a message. Did we? Am I missing something? I have no
No.
idea.
Literally, you guys have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Why did you say that, Snowmoon? You have no idea what this guy is talking about.
I start pushing Lydia away from the door that we just came out of so that he doesn't overhear us.
You're a lying liar.
We were looking for an inn, and I saw one, so I took it.
Exactly.
What about the professionals that are coming?
We better get this done fast.
I'll
Well,
hit
if
you
they
over the
haven't-
head later.
If they haven't come here already, I doubt they're going to come at all.
That's true.
We'll see about that.
So
Also, I don't know how I feel about this whole situation too.
breakfast at the inn or at the west gate to talk to Shirasha.
I say breakfast first, so I can kick Snowmoon under the table, and then we'll go talk to Sarasha.
Okay, so you're heading to the
Alright.
inn.
Yes.
You see there is a very, very large male behind the bar. Sort of slouched over, sort of shaggy, unkept hair. You can see him just washing. Looks like he's cleaning a mouth. He looks up. and starts to smile, and you can see a broken off tusks. Looks to be half orcish. Looks up. I told you I finally got somebody in here to deal with this. Tam sent you over here, did he?
Yes, we're here for some breakfast.
Oh. Well, you have to forgive me, all we really got is some bread and some fish, but...
It's better than nothing.
That'll do just fine.
You guys, he walks over and you hear him call into the kitchen, and you hear pots and pans start clanging around in there. So you start getting your breakfast whipped up, and you start noticing as you're sitting down, people are sort of walking by, stepping in for a minute, you know, just sort of almost like waving to the bartender. You start getting the impression it's more to get a look at the group of you more than to actually come in and say hi, because they're not actually coming in and saying anything, and you can see he's sort of shaking his head a little bit. About 15 minutes later, comes out, brings you, looks to be a couple of small loaves of bread, a couple of different types of fish. Looks like one's almost just like literally just cooked right on an open flame. And it's just like the whole fish. Next to be a couple of different like fillets that he had cut out. A couple that looks like almost like fried. Then you see it does have a couple of a very small plate with a probably just barely enough for each of you to have a serving of some cheese. He just leans over. You're not going to tell nobody I gave you this. This out of Tam's personal belongings.
I like you.
He walks over and starts pulling his drawers up and...
Can I, when he like walks away, can I try to slip him a gold piece?
Without him noticing?
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Okay, well, let's see how bad this goes. Alright. 19 on the dice!
He is not going to beat that with his passive, so yeah, you managed to get it in there on him.
Okay, so I just slipped one gold piece.
He'll find he'll find it eventually.
Okay, that's all I want. I like him.
Anything you guys would be doing during breakfast?
Kicking Snow Moon under the table.
Ow.
Yeah, that's what you get from faking us out and telling people that we're people we're not. I mean,
Lydia,
this is great cheese! Great cheese!
we're in a public place. Keep your
I
voice
know,
down if you're
I
going to
know.
shout at Snow Moon.
This will be easy. We'll get what we're after, and
Is
then
anything we ever do easy?
That's true.
But at least we know what's going on here. Like,
We could
didn't
have just
even have to
asked.
look.
I think the
We
guy
did.
would have told anyone.
He did.
Yes, that's the problem.
Lydia, it will be okay. We're helping
Okay.
these people.
Okay. I'll stuff a herring in my mouth or whatever people eat.
Okay. Easy enough for you guys to finish eating? Barn just sort of gives you a little wave as you start heading out.
Yep, I'll salute him and say, thank you, good man.
Make sure you stop back in once you dealt with everything.
Will do, and I'll toss him an actual gold piece too, so he notices that one.
As it sort of bounces onto the counter, he looks down and looks up at you, sort of squints. I'll be damned. I knew I liked you people. Sticks it in his
You're a
pocket.
nice fellow. We'll be back.
Just sort of nods and gives you a wave.
I like him. Let's keep him. Yeah. So we'll
We
go
already
look
have
for...
a Fabio. We don't need to.
I know, but I like this guy. So we'll go find Sarasha.
And so as you start heading out, immediately as you walk out, you see a small group of children start coming running up to the group of you. Oh, so you're going up there? Wow, you're really big. Oh, look at you. Wow, you're really white. Oh, your hair. How do I get hair like that? They just start pointing. Oh, wow, you're so... Wow, just looking up at Fury and... Wow, you look sort of... Are you like Tam?
I scruffle some of their hair, and yeah, I'm kind of like him.
As you're walking towards the gate, you're just getting peppered with all manner of questions. Lydia, you're getting asked, what are you? Why are you so big? Why don't you look like me? Why are you different? Snowmoon, oh, I've never seen one like you. You're like, I don't know what you look like. You look like milk. Just firing off random, just naive children who have never experienced anything like this. Firing off questions at Art. Oh, why am I bigger than you? Why is your hair so pink? And just all manner of, things that as an adult we go, oh my God, no, you did not just say that to somebody.
Yep.
But as a child, you have no idea you shouldn't say those things.
Right.
But eventually, as you start getting close to the western gate, you start hearing, oh, you gotta get back. Mom will get mad at me. They all sort of take off and shatter in different directions, heading back into the village. As you come walking up and you see a rather tired-looking, very sort of just sandy brown, very straight, almost like stringy hair. A woman leaned over, looks to be leaning on a warhammer, looking more into the village than out the way she's supposed to be watching. As you guys start coming up. Oh, so you're the ones the capital sent then.
Yes.
So, mile that way. After you travel a mile, turn to the north, about 400 yards. Turn to the east. Can't miss it.
That's where the cave is.
That's where the entrances are. There's 3 or 4 doorways over there, but Tom didn't want to spend any more of us going to look for the others. Keeps one of us here and one at the other end. Well, she sort of points around, and as you can see, it's not exactly like we have a wall. So I'm sure that when they come in here, they must all just be running right along this little road and not along anything behind bushes and shrubberies. But
Yeah,
once
I
I get paid,
smile
I
at
do what
her
I'm told.
sarcasm and
Is there anything else, or is that all?
I haven't gone to look for it myself. He wants to maintain at least 2 of us here, so until the capital's people arrive. That's all we could do. Haven't managed to take down a single one of them, but they seem to take down all of ours.
and nobody's seen them.
None of us who are here now. We're assuming that the ones who have that the other guards he sent and like the smithy and his son went out with the first group. And the smithy's name was Victor. He was a horse of a man, almost tall as that one. Pointing at Lydia.
Ooh.
Arms big around as my leg. I mean, if he couldn't deal with them, I sure as hell don't want to try.
How many have been sent out and not come back? Well, all of them, but how many
Yes, well, there were
are they looking
three,
for?
The 3 guards were the ones most recently sent out. Prior to that, there was the 2 parties. The first one was 6 people. The second one was 13, I believe.
Oh.
When the first 6 didn't come back, I'm sorry. His lordship requested that we send out at least double the number. So we sent out 1 more to make him happy. And lo and behold, they didn't return either.
That's quite a lot of people you sent out.
We assumed the first ones didn't. Maybe we underestimated whatever these creatures are. All we know is they reside in the caves.
Yes. Well, we'll do our best to find them. Or what's left of them. Can't really say.
Perhaps if you people from the capital had got here quicker, there might be more of a chance. But roads that way.
As we said earlier, the message that we got didn't have any details whatsoever, and travel problems arose, and I'm not sure how long after we got the message that you sent it, so politics, you know.
It's always something dealing with him. But anyway, I'm going to shut my mouth before I get myself in trouble. She just leans back down on her warhammer, puts her chin on her hands.
I'm gonna start walking out at the gate and follow the directions that she
Me
said.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll sort of tunnel behind, taking up the rear. You guys start making your way out. So, Fury, you're taking point, leading the party there? Okay,
Yeah, I'm. Yep.
do me a favor, go ahead and make a survival check for me. With advantages, you were given pretty detailed directions on how to get there.
And I'm pretty good at finding my way through forest, or, you know, terrain. 26?
Okay.
I rolled a 19.
So you guys are doing pretty good following the instructions. As you're going through, though, you are noticing something, Fury, as you're sort of taking point and watching for the signs. And you are seeing a lot of, I guess the best way to describe it would be almost reptilian footprints. They look to be pretty large for a standard reptile. 3 toes. And there are a ton of them. But you also start noticing sort of off the beaten trail. So as you're seeing these footprints after your first about hour or so of travel, you start noticing that there are other footprints just off of the actual sort of beaten path that you're walking on. And that's the other thing you notice is the path you're on, while everything within the village is sort of this sort of combination of like dirt, sand, and rock, the path you're walking on is within, it's not heavily wooded here, but there are, you know, trees every like 5 or 6 feet, 10 feet apart. So you've got enough space that you can see, but it's still fairly dense for there to be such a well-walked path through this. And the feet you're seeing are all these 3-toed footprints.
How many toes does Snowmoon have?
Yeah, is it just Furia seeing these footprints at this time?
Go ahead, Lydia and Snowman, you can both make perception checks.
Okay.
Because Fury's one who's actually like watching and doing the navigating. So that's more why she's catching this now. But the other
16.
thing Okay.
Sorry.
A 22 for me.
Ooh.
Okay. So, Snowmoon, you would definitely catch it as well. The other thing, and Lydia, you would start seeing it as you start watching, like you start seeing Fury looking down more and Snowmoon looking down more, sort of clues you in that there's something going on.
Mhm.
Fury and Snowmoon, though, you both notice what looks to be animal tracks off, sort of just outside this beaten path. You're not sure what animal they are. Furia, if you want to make a nature check, you can to see if you have recognized any, but nothing's jumping out at you necessarily, Snowmoon.
Sure, I'll make a nature check. 7.
It's got little tiny feet. It's with all the other footprints going on. It's hard to notice, but you definitely see
I'm
that there's
concentrating
something
on
else.
Finding
Yeah,
my way here.
you're not concerned about this little feet thing. You don't think that has anything to do with the disappearance. Yeah, and these Snowman, as you're noticing these feet are smaller than yours.
Okay.
Not a
Like-
whole lot smaller, but smaller.
Ooh.
No, and I say not when I say not a whole lot smaller, I'm not talking like, size 13 to size 10. But at the same
Okay.
point, it's not like we're talking, Dragonborn to, Komodo dragon either.
Okay.
So I
Think
guess
of
lizard
and,
folk.
and sort of sizing, think of Furious footprint versus Art's footprint
Okay.
so I guess
to give you
Like,
a sizing
if-
idea.
if I have a first instinct, is it like that they are like fellow dragonkin or not?
I think they're lizard folk.
It's as you're looking at your own foot and theirs. I would say your first thing is in your experiences with your clan, you've never run into a dragonborn that small
Mm.
that wasn't a child.
Right.
And
Okay.
just looking at this in the sheer number of footprints, to have this many small footprints, you would have a butt ton of kids,
Okay.
which would mean even more adults.
Right.
And on top of that, at least none of the Dragonborn you've run into live underground.
Okay.
And these
Yeah,
people
I
are
guess
saying this is a subterranean
Right. All right.
group
Yeah.
of
So he's
people.
just. I guess he's doing all this math in his head, but he hasn't said anything out loud about it yet.
Okay, so you guys still just following along?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
keeping an eye out where I can, but trying to pace out a mile and then was it turn left or something? And 400
Turn right.
yards?
Turn north, so it'll be to the right.
So north and 400 yards. Yeah.
So, and easy enough. As you get that mile out, it's literally it's basically like she said, stay on the road, because as you're following this well-worn path, it turns, heading north. And then as you continue walking up, you start to see that the trees are starting to break, and you can start to see hills. And I won't really call them mountains, but just sort of like rocky, oversized hills. You're pretty sure you're approaching the entranceways that Tam was telling you about.
Do we approach this stealthily, or should we just go in barging?
Well, considering the amount of prints we saw on the road here, or at least I saw, and considering we're only 4, probably stealth.
Gotcha.
Okay, so go ahead and everyone make a stealth check for me. Actually, I have got
23.
Uh,
Nat 20.
18.
Okay.
10 because of disadvantage.
Gotta love that disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Stupid.
Just give me...
Plate mail.
Ain't nothing stupid about one. It saves your life. Give me a second. I'm just trying to grab my cheat sheet for art here. For some reason, I can't find my dang link. Hey, there it is. Okay. Give me just a second, folks, so I can grab art here and make sure that I don't. Let's see here. Ooh, I love Canadian dice. Okay, stealth. That is a dirty 20 for art.
Nice.
So you guys are easily able to sort of stay within the tree line and start heading up. Now, as you start heading towards this opening and going around, you can see coming from where you are and sort of turning back towards the east. You can see what looks to be on the western side of this sort of rocky, oversized hill. There looks to be a cave entrance that starts heading down. And as you're still circling and coming towards that direction, you see another one on the northern side of the same mound. It looks like there are at least 2 openings on this. Don't know if they had no idea where they head to, just that there's 2 openings.
I say we split the party and 2 go up and 2 go... No, I'm kidding.
Lydia, that is a terrible idea.
It is. I have terrible ideas sometimes. Yeah, so I can't see in the dark.
Well, you have the ability to do light, right?
Yes, but I'm just saying that that'll negate some of our stealthiness.
Well, I did remember to prepare dark vision this morning, which allows me to grant dark vision like elves have to people. But that means I will be using some of my magic up.
I mean,
Well, it depends how stealthy you want me and Snow Moon to be.
if you can see, maybe we can just try to follow
Art
your
and
lead.
Art
as
and I
best
can
we can.
see, and Lydia has the ability to make light. And I would be willing to put it on 1 person for sure, but 2, I don't know.
Alright, give it to Snow Moon and I'll make a little light for myself.
Alright, so I will cast dark vision on Snow Moon.
Okay.
It is 8 hours and non-concentration.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah.
So you're good to go.
You'll have to tell me what it's like to be able to see in the dark like them. But don't tell them I said that.
Lydia, you're right beside me.
I know! Why do you have to be so perceptive all the time?
You know, I could just cast on you like when we're traveling on the boat sometime and you can...
Okay, that'd be nice. If you're offering, I'll take you up on it.
Okay, so what's the plan, folks?
I'll go in last, because I'll have the little light by me.
Okay, so Art will be right in front of you then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just sneak in the door or the entrance that's the closest.
Okay, so that'll be the one on the, basically the closest one is sort of that southwestern entrance.
Okay, yeah, I'll just start sneaking in there. See what
Okay.
I find.
Yeah, I'll stick close to Furia while we're still under stealth.
Okay. So as a group of you start heading in, and Lydia, what was your stealth check again?
10.
Okay, let me just check one little person here. Okay, so as you guys approach the door, so far everything seems fine. You haven't heard any you haven't heard anything, you're not seeing anyone right outside the doors. Snowman, this is sort of a strange experience for you as you start getting closer to this entranceway. As you're looking around, everything around you seems normal. You're looking, the grass is green, the dirt is brown. As you get closer to this cave, though, and you watch after about 5 or 6 feet in past the entranceway, as everything for you would normally go black, you're seeing in shades of gray.
Okay.
So you can see what's going on in there. Everything's just sort of, I guess I'll say it's almost like it's a little hazy, like you're squinting your eyes really tight, but leaving just the slits open so you can see through your eyelashes.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're seeing little bits, but you're not getting a whole lot of color and effect through it.
All right. Yeah, so he'll just be kind of looking around and taking that in.
You're stuck with it for 8 hours, man.
No, it's not altogether unpleasant, just different.
So if I'm not seeing anything immediate danger, I'm still gonna start continue creeping inside.
Okay. Go ahead, all of you make
Slowly.
a perception check for me.
18.
19.
Some good rolls.
T2.
Okay. So basically, all of you can hear chanting coming from. It's very faint at the moment, but you can hear it slowly, basically sort of echoing off the walls of these caves and caverns, and eventually making its way up to you.
I would say softly, like under my breath, just knowing, oh, not this again. And
Did we?
I'm just keep going forward slowly. If I'm not seeing anything.
Can we
untoward.
recognize what language it is yet, or no?
Not as of yet. You're getting more like rhythmic sounds coming out,
Okay.
and you can tell it's voices only because of the numbers of them. But it's still, you're a little far away at the moment to make out what they're actually saying. And you guys are continuing down. As you're getting closer, well, I shouldn't say closer, you're getting further down, you're starting to notice, Snowman, you're getting little bits of color in your vision. Fury and Art are seeing it too, as you're starting to see mushrooms growing on the cave wall. And they seem to be phosphorescent, glowing with a slight yellowish orange hue to them.
Virya, can I touch one? They're so pretty.
Probably better not to.
Fine. You never let me have any fun.
Shh. We're sneaking.
So are you guys continuing on the way down? Okay. So as you're continuing to head down, you're starting to hear the chanting is picking up almost, I don't want to say like a fevered pitch, but you can hear it starting to pick up. And as you're getting closer, you're starting to see about 100 or so feet in front of you, heading down and slightly turning towards the left. It seems like the cave is starting to level out, and you can see light. That same yellowish orange light you were seeing from the mushrooms. It seems to be glowing from the bottom of this path that you're going down. And as you're heading down and listening to this and hearing the chanting over and over again, you can start to make out that in common they're chanting Savior.
I'm going to keep going, keeping to the outside of the room, if possible.
Okay. Well, as you start coming down to get closer, go ahead, everyone, and make another perception check for me.
Ooh, 22.
Okay.
15.
Oops, 17, sorry.
Okay. So, Snowman, you would definitely be able to see this as you're coming down. There looks to be a small, well, what you see is a small, looks to be like green scaled, a very thin, sort of bony looking individual right down at the bottom opening on the right. And as you're watching, you could just see the head sort of swaying, the hands up, sort of like this. And every couple of moments, she stops and sort of looks around. Then goes back to it, and you can just hear that constant Savior, Savior, Savior. And then all of you hear calling out somewhere off in the somewhere off further within this area, you hear another voice in common calls out, Gertalmik speaks. The Savior is on the island. We are free. And then you hear them all, that same chant, Savior, being repeated.
Right.
Do we see any staff or any kind of like idol, like they're focusing on while they're doing
Not
this?
not from where you are. You guys are still up, probably about, at this point, probably about 40 to 50 feet, still sort of coming down this hallway down into the opening.
Okay.
In order to make it down to where you'd corner and be able to see whatever's going on in this area, you'd have to literally walk down right next to this one that's sort of standing by the opening. And every couple of moments, it seems like he's, the impression y'all would get is he's probably one of the guards watching the opening, but is just caught up in this sort of revelry of this, whatever sort of ritual that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn, back. Do you see anything? Should we go down further?
I mean, I can make out like one figure just on the edge of the room, like just swaying back and forth. It seems like some type of ritual, but I can't really see much else.
I could turn into something else and go check it out and come back?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea.
I will do that. I'll turn into a. I think spiders can see in the dark. One of the larger spiders can for sure, and if I do have to turn into a larger spider, I will climb up onto the ceiling and stealth my way in.
Yeah, I know at least Giant Spider has dark vision, so we'll say sure. Okay, so you're turning into a spider and heading down there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring all of you down to a different map then.
Yeah, I would turn into a giant wolf spider because
okay.
they have mad stealth and dark vision.
Okay, so we have an Artemis there. Put Lydia in front there. Where's my snow moon? No, I did not need a second art.
You always need a second art.
I'm good with the solo art, Ola, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, let me
Is
see.
it the pink hair? Too much pink hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just that I'm old. I can't handle the pink hair. Okay, let's see here. Do I have a wolf spider token? I hate this, so what the hell? Okay, so... And giant wolf spiders are... whatchamacallit? They're large creatures, right?
They're medium.
Really?
That's what it says.
Wow. Okay.
Still pretty large for a spider, if you ask me. Too large.
Oh, yeah, way too bloody large for a spider, but still surprising. Okay, so we will make, they are all that sort of light blue, so we will make this wolf spider pink, because, you know, can't, yeah, we got too much pink hair, so we'll make a pink wolf spider. Okay. Now, keep in mind that Fury is the only one who sees this, and go ahead and make a stealth check as the giant spider, wolf spider for me.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So as you start climbing up the walls and along the ceiling, then immediately you see, as you're crawling into this large opening, these massive yellow and gold and orange mushrooms are growing out of the ground. You can see on a lot of the larger ones, it looks like doors have been cut into them. It looks like they're makeshift houses. And you can see strewn throughout this area these small, very wide, almost emaciated looking reptilian creatures. Just all, some standing, some kneeling in this middle, sort of recessed almost pit area, with one standing across the way over here, above, and seems to be the one leading whatever this is, chanting out to, just continually saying, Savior, Savior, Savior. If you're looking around though, you don't see anyone who isn't one of these creatures. You see, let me rephrase it a little. You do see one of them that's sort of right near him, right down to the south, that has a reddish brown skin tone to him. Seems to be wearing some sort of like weird backpack on his back. But the majority of them are this green skinned, and they all have the same very thin, almost sickly look to them.
Can I see, like, this seems one, from what I can see anyway, it just seems like one cavern. It doesn't seem like this branches off anywhere.
From where you can see as you're walking around, doesn't appear to be. Looks like there are some little sort of offshoots in like corners and spots that way, but you'd have to go further out into the middle to see if there's more up north or anything like that.
Okay, but yeah, I don't see any big other entrances or exits where
Yeah,
I'm at. Okay.
yeah, nothing from as you're sort of, again, sort of crawling on the ceiling, getting just behind this one on the ground beneath you.
I would check it out, crawl back to my party. Make sure that I'd crawl back to behind Lydia and then drop back down, turn back into myself, and, motion everybody to group up. And then I'd relay, like, they're all very skinny, and they've turned several of the mushrooms into houses, but there's no sign of the people or the animals. And that cavern, from what I could see, also doesn't seem to have another exit or entrance. There was several, folds in the rock, but no obvious stuff. Maybe we should try the other entrance?
We should, but should we leave them alone? Because they're obviously a intelligent group of beings that have no reason to be trod upon in their own land.
That's true, but do we really want to get too involved in...
Be involved, Inspector.
We need to find the people, and there was no evidence of that
What
in that room that I could see.
what exactly is going on? Is it some kind
But
of
they didn't
ritual?
seem to try to be doing like what we saw with the staff. They didn't seem to be sacrificing anybody or trying to infuse an item or destroy something. They just seemed to be calling out to somebody. And we did hear them say somebody or other speaks that the savior is on the island, which I guess could be anything.
Could be Snow Moon, a giant lizard like them.
Well,
I
all I saw
doubt
were
that,
they were
but I don't
very,
know.
very skinny and green scaled, but there was one with reddish scales. I'm really not sure what they were.
I mean,
Did they have tails? I forgot to check.
Oh, let me take a
Did
look
the
here,
one that
'cause
I was
don't
standing
know.
right behind, did he have a tail? Like I would think the other dragonborns or
Yeah, like the weird
dragonoids
ones
that
you
we
ran
met were.
into. Let's see here. Yes, he has a. The ones you ran into before were. Think of it sort of like almost like a dinosaur tail, a very sort of thick, powerful appendage. This creature that you were staying above and the ones you saw, think of more almost like a gecko's tail, very thin, some little wiry thing coming off the back of it.
Well, if they were dragonborn like Snowman, they're none that I've seen before. They did have tails, but not like the
Yes,
other guys.
and there were footprints I saw on the way in that had 3 toes, but they were much smaller than like the kind I've seen or like my own footprints. So
Well, I'd say we check out what the other entrance has for us. And
Good idea.
if need to be, we know what's down here.
okay.
Okay, so as you guys make your way back up and head up towards the northern entrance, that is a perfect time for us to take our break this evening. So thank you very much for hanging out with us this evening. We will be back in just a few minutes. Find out what our party can do to help out with the vanishing villagers and livestock, as well as what all this savior business is and what's going on the island of Amarune. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon, and thank you very much for hanging out with us. back, everyone. We jump back into the second half of our episode this evening, as our party has just headed back out the way they came and is now circling around outside the cave to head back down the northern side. So are you keeping the marching order the same with Fury taking point and Lydia coming in the back with the light?
I think so.
Okay.
Still stealthing, I think.
Okay, so if everyone go ahead, give me a another stealth check as you start heading down the northern tunnel.
Damn it, I rolled a nat 20. But I have to take the 7 instead.
I also rolled a nat 20. That's like 2 nat 20s.
I rolled a 6. My luck finally ended.
So mine is a total of 23. Again.
Yeah, what's your total, Snowman?
6.
Oh.
No bonus.
Okay, so let's see here. Let's check Artemis here. Where's your stealth? Okay, so it gets a +1. Okay. So as you guys start making your way down, and again, as you're heading out the tunnel, you came in sort of outside and heading back down. As you're going back into this cave system now, this one is much more sort of windy and turny ups and downs. This gives you a much different sort of feel than the very sort of straightforward tunnel you went down before. But as you're walking down, there are a couple of small, look to be about maybe 3 or 4 foot diameter holes that are carved into the cave wall and just disappear into darkness. Even for those of you with dark vision, as you look down, the tunnel seems to go on until it just fades out of it. Can't see any further in darkness. And coming out of those holes, you can hear the same chanting. And as you're slowly making your way down, about 10 or 15 minutes go past as you're still hearing the voice, and all of a sudden, all of you hear, "Ah!" And out of one of those small tunnels, a small green reptilian face has started to crawl out and looks immediately at Lydia and Snowmoon. And screams, "They're here!" and starts scurrying back into the tunnel.
Oh crap.
Can I try to catch it? Like grapple
Sure,
it before
go
it
ahead.
runs back in?
Sure, go ahead and make a strength check.
8.
Okay, let me take a look at... Yeah, so as you...
Even athletics, it would be 11.
Okay. Yeah, so you just miss as he disappears.
Oh shoot.
And as you can hear now coming out here, they're here, they're here! Savior is here! Scrambling down the hole.
They're expecting us? That's
dumb.
different.
And as you can hear, after a couple of seconds, as you could hear that voice sort of trailing up through there, you hear the chanting, "Save, save, save," and then all of a sudden it just stops. And after a few moments, you hear shouted out into, just echoing off the walls from the darkness here. "Please come down. We mean no harm. We wish to speak with you. You who will save us. Set us free.
Just look. What do we do?
Wasn't this what you wanted, was to see them and speak to them? That's what I wanted. Never mind. I wanted to speak with them diplomatically first.
Well, I mean, might as well give it a shot. I'm not
Okay.
sure which. I'm only assuming they're wanting to speak to Snowmoon, but I mean, if they know where these men and animals are,
Should I just play along if they think it is me?
That's on your conscience alone.
Okay.
I think we need to know where these people are, and maybe they're not the bad guys here, and they're just caught in crossfire. But let's give it a chance, I guess.
Just for our viewers at home to make things a little easier, I'm going to toss up an image of a map so they can see what our party is sort of walking into.
So if nobody's going to say otherwise, I'm just gonna start walking back down the tunnel we came from and head back in the southwest entrance.
Okay. So you start, and so you guys eventually make your way, circle back around, and head back down. And the first thing you notice as you're heading down, as the person who is down by the right by the entrance when you guys came down the first time, is now all the way about 35, 40 feet away from where he was standing before, sort of tucked behind this basically this mushroom house. And you can see just like peeking around the back, looking up toward somewhere in the north. It seems all of them are looking up to the north.
Maybe we should clear our throats really, really
Yes.
loudly so we don't embarrass them. Is there a rock around on the ground somewhere?
Easy enough to pick up a rock.
I'm gonna pick it up and just throw it, hoping it echoes loud enough in this area. Not at anything, just like at a wall. Hopefully getting their attention.
The one actually who was just peeking around the house turns around. Oh, Javen! Points over this way, and all of a sudden you feel as every eye within the cavern now turns to focus on the four of you. And the one across the way, that's sort of standing above the others up on this little sort of thing right at the edge of this bit in the middle, looks over at the four of you, sort of squints a little bit, turns towards the north and looks back down. You went around. Thank you for coming and not just attacking. So many just attack.
Now, why would they do that?
Look at what we are.
Sentient beings? With a soul and a voice? I see.
He sort of looks down to his left to the reddish brown one, takes a step over and does it. Okay. Just has like a real brief little conversation.
Big words, Lydia. Those are big words.
Looks back over at the group of you. Please come. Let us speak.
I will follow.
Yeah, I guess we'll step closer.
I'm still keeping my head on a swivel, but
Okay.
follow.
As you're walking, some of them that are near you guys on the sides, as you're walking over towards this one on the far side, as you walk by, will sort of reach out very slowly to try to touch you. This is. And then grab their hand, run away. Eventually, though, you make your way over to the one standing over there, and this is what you see if this works properly. Oh, no. Did that share it with you?
Yeah.
So as you can see, this individual seems to be wearing what looks to be decent, not good, but decent armor. You can definitely tell that it's sort of hobbled together. It's mostly made of leather. There are a couple of looks like metal pieces stuck into it. It's got a sword. Lydia, you would recognize just from seeing this happen before. It's got some rust spots on it. This is something that was probably found in the water, probably off the shore somewhere. As you're looking around, most of the things that these individuals have, the couple of others that you see with weapons are extremely, extremely crude bows. The arrows you can see in the couple of quivers from people you've noticed walking by. I mean, these arrows are basically branches. Some of them still have knots and little bits sticking out of them. This is not an armed force by any stretch of the imagination. Eventually, as you come over to the chief, he looks at you. Cthulhumac told me you would come. You are here to free us.
Yes, we are.
What would
A
that
glitter and snow moon.
what would that entail? We weren't aware that you were here when we arrived.
And he just sort of... The others. They come. They kill. Without thought, without reason. All game. Island full. Deers. Boar. A few wolves, but we leave alone. Now in just a year, all gone.
Lydia, looks like you were right.
I try not to brag.
All because of menfolk in their wood buildings.
Do the humans ever come around this way into the caves?
A few times some fight, some just leave. You can see he sort of gestures at the four of you. You fight. We hunt. We live. We pray. Most people put on boats and out.
Right, well, we're not here about diplomacy, actually. We're here to see if we have a small trinket about... Never mind. Yes, that seems like a problem. Do you know who's been taking the humans, like, livestock and stuff like that?
We do to survive, to eat. They have killed all our game. We can now hunt.
If you do not remove the humans, where have they gone?
No, he looks and watches him and that reddish brown one again have this sort of very rushed, muttered conversation between them. We remove, not hurt. Send away.
Where?
He just sort of points out to the west. Boat. I can show.
Please do.
We are aware, after speaking with the humans, that they did not know you were here when they settled here. They did not know that you needed the animals of the land before taking them from you.
He just sort of snorts at that. Who say that? Elf boy? They know. He meet with us. Steal from us.
That is news. They said they didn't know what you were, only that you lived underground.
He gestures towards the middle of the sort of pit area. We had statue. Carved stone in pieces carried from water. Cthulhumac. Him and guards come into. Discuss missing people. Doesn't like answer. Breaks it. Takes it. So we pray. And he gets sign. And you look as this reddish brown one sort of rubs on his arm a little bit. Then reaches out towards a group of you and turns the arm over. And you can see just 4 single lines on his arm. One sort of medium length, 2 longer, and 1 very short one.
Can I do a religion check or something?
Sure.
See if this is legit. That'll be a 17 plus 3. Dirty 20.
Okay. So, you don't know a whole lot about this, but you have come across it. In your studies with the village that took you in after everything happened, some of the books they had spoke of a race of small reptilian or draconic ancestor creatures called kobolds that worshipped a god called Cthulhumac. And basically, the only thing that the book really gave you about it is that this Kurtulmek apparently gave life to the race of kobolds and taught them how to be thieves. And once he taught them that, basically, that triggered an eternal battle between kobolds and gnomes. But that's the only that's literally the only thing that you remember from that book.
So these might be kobolds. Fun fact.
You notice Art has been a little quiet and sort of staying in the back, sort of happy to
Yeah,
be
I
in the
kinda-
shadows.
I kind of like not stealthy, but I just shift my weight to like, just be like casually like in front of Art, just like very casually.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "Come, I show you the ship."
Right. Sounds
Sounds
good.
This one, the brown scaled one, and then one of these other ones that looks to have a basically it looks to be like an oversized pouch hanging sort of around his waist. The three of them start walking with you. Lead you back up the western exit that you guys came back down. Out into the side, and immediately walking out, all three of them are like... And after a couple minutes, it takes you probably about 15-20 minutes of sort of walking through. And you're going through a pretty heavily wooded area when all of a sudden it just opens. And you can see a pretty sizable chunk of this area has been cleared. The trees have all been cut down. You can see branches on, basically branches have been stripped down. There's chunks of bark laying to the side. And then you can see about 40 or 50 feet away is what looks to be about a 25 or 30 by 30 foot raft. And the points are there. We give the option. Stay with us or leave. They all leave. Only 3 fought.
And what of them?
He just sort of looks down a little. Friends and family die. Buried in tunnels. Collapsed on them. Now only 2 entrances to home.
Do the humans in the village know what's happened to their guards and their people that they send here?
I just sort of... I do not know. We do not go as... many of them and few of us. We just want gone. Want home back.
What are you asking? What are you asking us to expel this entire village from the island? What is it you think we can do?
He looks at the 4 of you very pointedly. What did you come down here to do?
Well, I came down here to give you a fair chance and to speak on your behalf if you had. I don't know what their point is.
And considering if you are telling the truth to us, the village lied to us about knowing what you were, talking to you, and still ignoring what you needed.
That he sort of puts us in. We talk time, the elf boy. We know sea village.
Oh,
We go
he
village
came-
night.
I
Steal.
see.
So
Well,
you have
Thames-
seen the village.
Tam still had lied to us about knowing what you were.
Then the chief looks over at you, Snowmoon, and sort of gives a little bit like a...
And
Yes,
you
steal.
haven't taken their livestock, which, fair or unfair, they're not happy about.
They kill our food, we take their food. They send to kill us, we do not kill them. They send to attack our home. Sacrifice is made.
Well, I think we should go back and talk to Tam and see why he decided not to tell us the truth.
Does one of you want to come with us, or is that not a good idea?
You watch the three of them, like, eyes wide, like,
Okay, no, that's fine. We won't terrify you. No. Okay. I just wanted to know if you wanted your word to be heard at its fullest. We would assure your safety, of course, but...
It's probably not a good idea.
Right.
just sort of looks over the group. There is more come. And he starts walking out towards the shore to the west, and then turns up towards the north a little bit. Gonna follow him?
Yeah, I'd follow.
Okay. As you turn it,
Curious.
there's some... As you're going through, and it's... The way the islands is sort of shaped for you, there's a little bit of sort of a jutting out where these hills are sort of crested over and then come down to where the shore is. You see you on a very narrow strip of sand as you get up towards the northern tip and then turn back towards the east. You can see what looks to be about a 45 or 50 foot ship. Sort of basically straight parked and sort of tipped onto the sand.
Oh no. Is that the help they asked for?
That is how they came.
Oh, the
Oh,
first
okay.
people. Well, I guess they had to park somewhere.
And these boats that you send people away on, where you send them to someplace in particular, or you just send them off?
Send to sea. Give paddles and sail. Only a few miles to shore if they go that way and points west. We send as tide goes out to help.
if there's nothing else you can show us, or need to show us or tell us, I think we have a conversation to have back in town.
Yes. Quite.
He just sort of nods and says, I will go home and await. You will come and tell, yes?
Of course.
Yes.
And what was your name? Did you have one?
They all just have called me Chief so long.
Chief.
Yeah.
Of course, Chief. We'll tell you no matter what.
My name is Keka.
God.
As you're getting ready to, you're getting ready to head out, he walks over to you, Lydia. And watches he sort of reaches down, goes like this, reaches into something on his hand, into his small pouch he keeps on, rubs onto his hand, and just reaches out towards you and touches your arm.
Oh.
And as he touches your arm with the flat palm of his hand, you see a small, somewhat crudely looks to. After he touches you, he sort of holds his hand up, and you can see what looks to be almost like a scar on his hand. It looks almost like he carved it in himself. Looks to be a small emblem of a skull, with what looks to be a circle around the back half of it. Looks up to you. Cthulhu will bless you. Keep you safe to return.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And he looks down, and as he goes to head back in, he turns back over his shoulder and specifically looks at Art. And you worry not, little one. We do not follow all the ways of our God. And then just starts to walk away. You watch a little bit of a sort of like
Yeah.
slight breath and relax from Art. You guys are heading straight back to the town?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Takes you a little while to get back over there. Go ahead and make a perception check as you start approaching the town, everyone.
14.
Oh, okay.
A 16.
18.
I'm sorry, what was yours, Lydia?
18.
Oh, okay. So you guys are probably a good couple of 100 feet from the town, and you're starting to hear shouting. And there's no guard at the gate this time as you're heading back over.
Something is wrong. We weren't gone that long.
It's Shirasha that's missing, or?
Yep.
Okay. I guess we best see what's happening.
And I'm gonna start like a light jog towards
Yup.
the town.
I'll
Like
try
a-
to follow. Even though I lag behind. Yeah, I'll try.
So as you all come charging up, the first thing you notice is that the couple of kids that were sort of following around and pestering you with inappropriate questions. You see one of them, a young girl who was wearing this sort of like maroon red dress, is crouched behind a bush on the one of the farms on the northern side of the town, on the north side of the path once you get inside the gate. She looks like she's hiding and keeps peering out towards the middle of town.
If I see her, I'd crouch beside her and ask her, "What's going on? Why are you hiding?"
Yeah, it's easy enough. She's staring into the middle of town, and then seeing the group of you up here looks up, stumbles backwards and leaning up against the. Who are you really? People came in. They talked to his lordship. They said they were from the capital, and you people were bad people, come to hurt us.
Oh shit.
See, I told you
That's
about
right.
lion.
We're not here to hurt you. We're here to help. The people at the capital might do more harm now. From the
Just
capital.
why we
But they-
could have told the truth.
They were. They took a bunch of the people who were there when you guys got here. They got them all in the inn. They put them all in the tavern.
Why?
They did them 6. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. I punched Snow Moon in the arm really hard.
Because they're imposters, of course.
No, I punched you even harder in the arm.
Lydia, you need to stop beating up Snow.
I know because it's hurting my hand because he's got plate armor on.
Poor child is looking at it, just slowly backs away from the group.
You run along, dear.
I'm
Well,
gonna go run and hide now.
yeah, okay.
Don't come looking. And turns and runs the other door. So you watch as she just runs along the back wall of the barn and disappears around the corner.
Fair enough. Alright. Guess I got to go to the tavern.
Well, we can peek in a window first, maybe.
Okay.
Is there a window in the tavern that we
Well,
can peek into?
Yeah, easy enough.
To see what's going on before we just barge in.
So as you start going down the path, and actually we're gonna let me jump you back over there and stick you up here so you guys have an idea what you're dealing with. A moment. I'll get back over here. Okay, so as you guys are starting, come on, Art, you go on the back. As you all are starting to head down that general direction, the first thing you notice is you start to sort of crest around that and sort of peek around the building to the south of where threw your tokens up. You can see that there is most definitely an individual you did not see before now standing outside the entranceway to the tavern. It is a rather, let's just say a rather husky individual. Just massive, completely hairless. No hair on the chest, no hair on the head. Face doesn't look like he has eyebrows, just literally bald. Standing in front and doesn't seem to be looking over at towards where you are. Really? No, do not do that. Give me the one I'm trying to. On. I can get the token on there. There we go. And he looks to be standing only a couple of inches shorter than Furia, but probably almost another 50% as wide. Just a massive wall of a person. And she's just sort of sitting there reaching up behind his ear. Sort of pacing back and forth in front of the door.
That's somebody I don't want to tangle with.
I
In this
can charm
body.
him.
No. We just need a window to peek in, see what's going on.
Okay, right.
I mean, is there?
Maybe if I was Bear, I could take him on. I'm just thinking out loud. Sorry.
Well, I mean, what do you see? Are they just?
Right now, from where you guys are around, you'd have to find... There's a window over here. There's a window right next to the front door that he's sort of standing right near. And from when you were in there, you remember that there's one over on the side and there's a couple on the back side of it as well. But you're not sure where within the actual building anyone would have been put, so you're not sure how much you'd be able to see.
Yeah, I would try to sneak around to the side. Like over
Okay.
there. Even if I have to go around a couple buildings.
Hey, easy enough. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Stealth in.
I will not accompany you.
Yeah, I will not.
Just watch my back
as
from a
well.
distance, maybe. In case I need backup.
Yeah.
15.
Okay. Let me see what he ended up with for his... He is on his thing. Okay, so that's... No, there's another. Okay. So you are easy enough for you to seem to sneak around and get yourself over by that window. Takes you a few minutes because you do have to sort of circle around the this farm next to you, the house that the Town Lord Tam had brought you into. And as you sort of peek into the window, you do see a group of about 5 or 6 people. The same 5 or 6 that you remember seeing out standing around that strange gazebo with the thing inside of it.
Mm-hmm. The statue thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they seem to be sitting around. Also in the room with them are 2 other individuals you haven't seen before. Both of them seem to have a couple of weapons hung on their hip. You don't see, from where you are here, you do not see the barkeeper.
This isn't the main room, it's a side room, or is it just...
No, this is opens right into the
These
main
does
room.
not...
Yeah, this
Okay.
literally opens right into that main room.
Can I hear anything through the window?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Natural 1.
Nope.
Great time.
And that's going to be like some 6-foot thick window. You cannot hear anything out of it.
Alright, so seeing as I just hear muffled voices, but I can see people, there's only 2 people that I don't recognize, or do I think the rest of them are still maybe on a boat somewhere, just by the numbers? Because I know big ships take a lot of people to...
Yeah, it's hard to
Right.
say. It's at this point, I'd say it's really up to Furia. What does Furia think? Because
Fury would probably assume that there are more people somewhere, just in case.
Then yeah, there are more
Yeah.
people somewhere.
Okay.
You haven't seen
So
any, but
I haven't seen any, but I know there's at least the 2 unrecognized and the guy in front of the door. So
right.
3 people to deal with, plus all the angry town folk. I'll sneak back around the buildings, back where I came,
Okay.
check in with my friends.
He's empty. So, Lydia and Stone, you've got about probably 5 or 7 minutes from when Furia starts throwing off before she gets back. Anything you would be doing during that time frame?
Punch and Snow Moon.
He's just.
This is why we don't lie!
It'll be fine.
It will be, but not because you did that on purpose.
Oh,
Seemed like the easiest path to what we wanted to get, so I took it.
So, a couple minutes later, Furia, you come back and you're starting to notice Lydia's got a couple little scrapes on her knuckles, a little bit of blood coming down from punching armor repeatedly.
Lydia,
I could have punched him in the face. That would have been worse.
Lydia, you're making too much noise.
It's him for wearing this damn plate mail, not mine.
Me? You're the one punching me.
You lied in the first place.
Lydia,
Shame!
I agreed with him.
For
so
shame!
Come punch me too.
No, you're a delicate flower. I could never punch you.
From
Furia.
behind, you hear Art whisper, "Pirates."
Oh, okay. Pirates.
I can turn into a bear. I'm not delicate.
I know, but when you turn into a bear, I'll punch you, okay? It's fine. Just so it's even.
Well, it might be soon. At the inn, there's a big beefy dude in front, like we saw. But all of the town folk we saw at the, outdoor thing, are in there. I didn't see the barkeep, but there was also 2 people I didn't recognize. I'm assuming they're the people from the capital. I'm assuming there must be more. I mean, I don't think they would just send 3 guys. Granted, we got 4 guys, but I don't know if we should just burst in there.
The boat.
try to
Do you think the
reasonable them?
captain's okay? Because the people from the capital must have seen our boat when they pulled in. The
Yes,
port-
but they wouldn't have known it was immediately bad news until they got into town.
True. Okay.
I'm not sure what. I did see Tam in there, right?
Nope.
No? Okay.
No, you
I did
literally
not see-
you saw the people who were around and complaining at him,
Mhm.
and then 2 other individuals you hadn't seen before.
Okay. So I don't know where Tam is. He was not in the room, just the complaining people and the 2 unknown people. I don't know if he's somewhere else in the inn talking to somebody else or in his house. Or at least what I think is his house. We just
We
lost
lost it.
Lydia.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm getting a message, I think.
Her internet went out, maybe?
She's still in Discord, it looks like, so.
No, I don't think she is, because I'm seeing
I
her
don't know.
typing
Oh,
something.
she's typing.
Oh, yep. So we lost Lydia on our internet, so see if she can get back with us here in just a moment. So while we're waiting to see if she can get back, so what were you saying?
Well, we can find Tam and try to get to him first, or we can just barge in and try to convince everybody at once, which I don't think is going to go well.
I mean, we could try barging in. I mean, the villagers lied to us about what they knew, so
Well, no, Tam lied to us because he
That's
met
true.
with the Lydia said they were kobolds,
yes,
but
that's what he said.
they said nobody else came to talk with them. So he
That's
was
true.
deceiving us and therefore deceiving everybody else in the town. Maybe he just really wanted his own town, city.
I mean, how far can you go though to try and do something like that?
We just burned down a noble's house to
Indeed.
get what we wanted. I mean, it was fun, I'll grant you that, but still, it wasn't necessary to do what we needed to do.
I mean, we still don't know where or if the artifact we're looking for is even here on this island.
With that, Art will sort of chime up a little bit. But this is one of the locations they said the one was located, but don't. I think one of us has the ability to can see magical items.
Oh, maybe it's that statue. Hey, Lydia, can you detect magic on that statue?
Wait.
Or not.
Yes, I think I can. Oh, do we just? Hey, sorry about this, folks. We are an efficiency bonus for that. Technical difficulties will kill you faster than a Tarrasque can.
It's how you know you're in the right stream.
So I am pretty sure that Lydia does have, because of Furbolg magic, the ability
Yeah.
to do detect magic at will. So we will say that Lydia can do so, but we'll let you know that she would have to get pretty close to it to be able to see.
Yeah, I would
If it
try
was,
to get her to sneak around the building and come at the outbuilding from the north to avoid
Is it
the
this
guy
one?
at the tavern. Yeah, around that building.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see here. I don't know if I
And
have...
Fury will quietly tell Snowmoon, not in hearing of Lydia, because if it's in the statue, we can just take it and leave and avoid all of this mess.
That sounds perfect to me.
Lydia would like it
let's
though.
see.
Should I go
Okay.
with Lydia? And if it is, just grab it.
I think we should all go. I mean, I'm pretty good at sneaking.
Okay, so what's the plan?
Sneak around the building and take a magic look at the statue.
Yep, so just Lydia, or is the whole group going, or...
I think I'm going to follow her because I'm pretty sneaky.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Snowman's going to go too or not, though.
Furia, should I try and sneak? I mean, it's not my strongest suit, but
Maybe you could just keep an eye on the inn and let us know if anything changes there.
okay, I'll stay here and keep an eye out.
Okay. Hold on a sec. Sorry, folks. We're getting another message from, Okay, so we're going to see if we can get Sarah back in Discord for a few moments to get us a little further with this, and then we'll probably call this an early evening for tonight. Only because depending on how things go, there's a whole lot of different directions this could go, and again, this has been a lot of character-driven development here for Lydia, so
Yeah.
Don't want
I don't
to.
want to get in a fight without Lydia.
Well, I'm not even thinking the fight. I'm just talking about right now. We are smack dab in what is potentially an earth-shattering moral quandary for our party here, as we have
Well, for Lydia.
a village of people.
Can you hear me?
Hey, we
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. My internet crapped out.
That's all right.
That's okay. I'm just glad you're able to call in for a couple months. Like I was just explaining to our viewers and Nadia and Kevin here is that what we're going to do is to get a couple of quick things to see if we can get taken care of here for a moment. And then we're just going to call an end to tonight's session a little early. That's right. With everything going on with this, want to make sure that well, again, hopefully Art will be back with us next week, but at least that we've got the three of you back here so we can get this part of the story wrapped up when everyone's present and accounted for. But first thing,
Okay, cool.
Sarah, I need you to roll me a stealth check.
Ooh, no, not
As,
one of those.
well, actually, let me ask this first rather than assuming this now that we've got you. So the idea was that the party is still looking for this item, this piece of this portal. Furia had the idea maybe it's in the statue. So the thought was to have Lydia using her for rogue magic to cast detect magic and then stealth around the northern building to sort of try to sneak down and sneak a peek at that statue to see if that mismatched thing that was built is in fact the portal piece or contains the portal piece.
If I use disguise person, can I do that to look like someone else? Or is that like alter self? I forget.
Disguise self will do it somewhat.
But
Okay, I'd like to
here.
look like a normal human then.
I think with your furball, you can do that and make yourself short.
Yeah, I'm gonna look like a normal
like
human.
what
like
you were doing before.
brown hair,
Yeah,
brown
it's,
eyes.
Yeah.
well, yeah, up to 1 foot shorter, so you'll still be a very tall
Yeah.
person. Okay, so you do that first, and then you're gonna stealth around and try to, or are you just gonna walk up to it?
I'm gonna try to be a little stealthy, I guess.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and make your stealth check for you. Again, you still have disadvantage because of your armor, but you
Right.
can roll an additional D4
Okay, so that's
and
a...
add it to it as you have been blessed by Golem attack.
Ooh. So I got a 9 and a 19. So the 9 I add 4 to, so that's a 13.
Oh, okay.
Which is better than I normally roll.
Yeah, I'll be stealthing after Lydia. Just
Okay,
for
so
backup cases.
go ahead and make your stealth check.
19.
Okay. So easy enough. We're going to grab Furier's fallen over. Grab Lydia. And then you are doing detect magic, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just take a look here and see exactly what the specifics on this one are. Okay. So as you're coming around the back of this, I don't know why I want to say pergola, no, gondola, and starting to look at it, you are starting to get what looks to be a fairly, again, for you, a fairly weak sense of that same glowing magic you've seen from the other portal pieces.
Mm.
It's coming from what looks to be a rather decent-sized flat piece of stone at the base of this statue.
Okay. And did he smash the entire thing, the dude? When he took it? Or...
So what you're looking at is it's basically a mismatched sculpture.
Okay.
So it's this large sort of, I guess I'll call it flagstone that's sitting on the ground. He has built this sort of sculpture up on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can tell that there are bits and pieces of other things in there. But with the way it looks right now, it's impossible to see what it looked like initially. You just know that that large stone it is all built on is resonating with that same sort of magic that you've seen from the other two pieces.
There I am.
As-
Look, it's glowing.
As you're sort of sticking your head around and looking and seeing that, though,
Mm-hmm.
you hear coming from the front of the inn, "Hey, who's you? I remember seeing you before."
We were picking berries.
Snowmoon's gonna start walking, like, out towards the front of the inn at this point.
As he's looking over you, and all of a sudden you see, "Oh shit!"
Charm person.
And that's where we're going to call it into tonight's session.
Oh no!
As Snowmoon, hearing this individual calling out over towards the direction he knew his friends were in, decided to step out into the open. We are just going to drag Art up and put Art right on the corner of this house, sort of hiding back around this corner, just to make sure Art's a little closer to the action, just in case. And Furia is tossing off a charm. Furia, bloody hell! That's what happens when you're not in video chat, Sarah. And Lydia is firing off a charm person. So we will be back again next week. Hopefully back up at full strength to see what is happening here. And does Furia...
Lydia.
does the strange not Furbolg person's spell take hold, or is Snowmoon about to get bum rushed?
Oh no!
Which, won't go good for either of them, I don't think. But thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out with us tonight. Again, sorry for the early departure due to technical difficulties, but we'll be back next week. Don't forget, we've got stuff as we're all trying to make it through this new stay-at-home land we find ourselves in. If you're looking for something to do, check out our channel. We've got stuff going on just about every night. And if you can't find something on here, you can check out our YouTube channel. All the videos get uploaded to YouTube as well, usually within a couple of days. So definitely check them out. There's a whole bunch of content you can find. Don't forget, if you're out there, you're looking for something to do, make your perception check. You might find us. Don't forget to add your proficiency bonus, folks. We'll see you next time.
Good night.